It's a 7-match card, each of them a one-on-one match, which I knew going into it, but then I saw the card before we were going to be doing this show, and I was like, yeah, there's every single match is 1v1. And yeah, only 7 matches. I guess a 3-hour pre-show with no pre-show matches on it. Maybe there'll be pre-show matches added on Friday Night SmackDown. But yeah, we're gearing up for a lot more Slim Jim commercials, man.
Yeah.
However, there should be some awesome matches on this card, and B, some periods on some of these feuds. Like, we should have some big time changes with some of these stuff. So we're going to go through it. We're going to buy, sell each feud. We're also going to predict what happens and kind of give, an opinion on what we think would happen, but also what we think will happen the way things have been going. And I'm excited for it too, because I think it's a little challenge between you and me. We got 7 cards here, 7 matches here. That's easy for us to be right or wrong on each of them. See who comes out the better booker at the end of it. Who is in Triple H's mind more, myself or the WWE fan over there, Mr. Robert Lentini? Bob, let's start off with the Bloodline. This might not open up the show, but you've already brought them up. We obviously have Cody Rhodes. He is the Universal Champion, World Heavyweight Champion. Everything has a different name. It doesn't matter. He's coming in with the gold, and he's facing off with Solo Sikoa. At that time, the Bloodline will likely have the tag team belts in tow as well. And there is, still that overhanging cloud of Roman Reigns. Will he, won't he? Now, they did talk about Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman a little bit during the build-up to this. Do we think Roman Reigns, before we get into the buy or sell, do we think Roman Reigns makes his grand return at SummerSlam?
I think this is going to be the main event. If I had to predict, I'm going to throw that out there right away. And I think it's going to close the show, and I think Roman Reigns will be returning in the final moments. Yes, that's my prediction. That's my hope. But they could extend it. Triple H just loves extending things for months and months. They could push it forward more, but I think it's time to bring Roman Reigns back. And if we're going to do the predictions too, actually, let me buy or sell this feud. I'm selling this feud overall because I'm sick of it. I'm ready to move on with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline. It's incessant. Just the Bloodline standing tall at Money in the Bank and on literally every single episode of SmackDown since. It's ended with the Bloodline. Putting Randy Orton through a table, putting Cody Rhodes through a table, putting Paul Heyman through a table, putting Kevin Owens through a table last week. Enough. So let's have Cody Rhodes demolish Solo Sikoa, and then something's going to happen after the end. But I could not be less excited for this undisputed WWE Championship match than I am right now. Just the feud has been so repetitive, and I'm selling it. And I'm also predicting Cody Rhodes to emerge still the champion.
I'm selling it as well. And I'm right there with you with, I believe, Cody retains. However, I'm not there with you that this is the main event because of how much we've seen it before. Even if Roman Reigns returns, how do you book this match and keep the belt on Cody, but at the same time, Solo looking strong and the Bloodline looking strong? How do you do that? I think you have to do it with Roman coming back and getting back at Solo Sikoa, because Solo can't take this loss clean. He cannot. Like, you've been building this guy for so long. He cannot take this loss clean and then be vaulted into a fight with Roman Reigns. He would be immediately the inferior. He needs to come out of this looking strong, and I don't know how that happens because you're not taking the belt off of Cody. So I am interested to see what happens in this match. I am not interested to see the match. I am not interested to see the feud. But if I could fast forward and read Robert Lentini's recap on Sportskeeda, I would. I'm not excited, and I hope Roman Reigns does return, but I also don't think he will, Bob. I know we've been wanting it. I know we've been expecting it. This is why I don't think it's the main event. I do think we're getting Roman pushed down even further. I do think we're still getting a Roman Reigns return on a SmackDown or a Raw, not at the pay-per-view. I think something happens here. Maybe it's Randy Orton involved. Maybe it's Kevin Owens involved. I don't know. I truly don't know how you book yourself out of this match. If we're both taking Cody, though, I guess the debate between the two of us and who will be the winner or loser here is whether Roman comes back or not. You're saying yes. I'm saying no.
And also, if it's the main event,
this match?
I think you can beat Solo Sikoa clean. I just think you can. I think you can have the whole match, the Bloodline trying to interfere on behalf of Solo Sikoa, because he hasn't really accomplished anything on his own. He's been relying on his stablemate. So I just think that this is going to be the main event. Solo Sikoa is going to lose. The Bloodline's going to attack Cody Rhodes after the match. Roman Reigns makes the save for Cody Rhodes. It should be this epic moment. Oh, my God. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are friends. That's what I think that they're going to do. But I could be wrong. I'm likely wrong. I'm just ready for this feud to be over. I'm buying that. I'm buying that this feud needs to end after this match.
Hopefully it will.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will. Speaking of another feud that needs to end, maybe even a title reign that needs to end, it's for the WWE Women's title.
Yeah.
Bailey is the champion walking into it. She's facing off with Nia Jax. I'm going to steal your thunder right here, Bob, and go in front of you. Couldn't give two shits about this. I'm selling it as hard as I can. I'm sorry. I've never enjoyed Nia Jax in a wrestling ring. Bailey, I love, but nothing has happened to make me go, oh, I can't wait to see what happens here. I don't know who retains. I guess I'm going to pick the big heel Nia Jax. If they're going to give her a belt, now could possibly be the time, but I don't care. I do not care. What do you think about this? Are you buying or selling it?
I'm selling the feud, but I think we're going to have a new champion, and it's not going to be either of these two. I think Tiffany
Oh,
Stratton is cashing in her money in the bank during
ooh,
this match. They've teased it. They've
mm,
teased her and Nia Jax not being friends anymore. I think it's time. I think Bailey's title reign has been just unbelievably underwhelming, really
hmm.
through no fault of her own. How do you make a feud with Piper Niven exciting? I'm sorry. It just can't be done. I love Piper Niven's
Okay,
fine,
Bubba
but
Ray.
yeah, well, don't compare me to that guy, please. But anyways, um, I like Piper Niven, but that was just a random ass feud that went on.
Yeah,
Like, who
yeah,
gives
yeah,
a
yeah.
shit? But yeah, I just think that neither of these two would excite me. Nia Jax as champion, I just cannot get behind at all. I can't. I don't want to sit through that title reign. I want to see Tiffany Stratton. Maybe Nia Jax wins and Tiffany Stratton cashes in right away on Jax and takes the title at SummerSlam. That's what I'm thinking. Nia Jax beats Bailey somehow, and then Tiffany Stratton right away cashes in, and I think she's leaving with the title. But I'm selling overall the feud, and that's my prediction. Tiffany Stratton is walking out with the
Well, now we're
champion.
both going to be wrong, and Bailey's going to walk away clean, and
Exactly.
Tiffany's going to be nowhere to be found. Let's move
Exactly.
on to a feud that desperately needs a change, and I think we're both picking the same guy here. It's for the United States title. Logan
Yes.
Paul is walking in as the champion. He's defended it twice in 700 days, and we both like Logan Paul in the WWE. We've enjoyed his matches. We enjoy his presence. The guy gets it. And I
Yeah.
think putting the title on him was the right choice because of all the new eyes that saw that title for the first time. That guy has more online presence than just about anyone the WWE could ever get their hands on.
It's
And so I
unbelievable.
thought that was a smart decision. And all the deals they've done with Prime and everything, again, it's a business. And I think it was a
Yeah.
great business decision. However, you got to have the champion actually be a champion. And Logan Paul is great for a big time, big show wrestler. Bring him in once in a while and have him be in a big feud
Yeah.
off to the side in the middle of the card. I think he does a great job with it. He can't be champion anymore. This is LA Knight's time. Is that just the fan in me speaking? First off, I will say I'm buying this feud because even though
Yeah.
we have not seen Logan Paul, I believe even just the long story booking of this, I think it has worked. These guys have been feuding forever, and I still am interested to see what happens because I want to see LA Knight get his revenge. I want to see Logan Paul get the comeuppance. But is that just the fan in me picking LA Knight to win this? And is the business brain going to keep Logan Paul as the champion?
I'm honestly nervous that they're going to keep Logan Paul as a
Mm,
champion because it's in his hometown. I'm just
yeah.
freaked out about that for some reason. But I don't know who Mr. Cleveland is. Logan Paul, he said, going to have Mr. Cleveland by his side. I don't know who the hell that is. We'll find out at SummerSlam. That will be an interesting twist. But I'm ready for a new champion. Like you said, he's defended the title twice. He was more invested in what happened.
No,
What,
I'm just thinking of all the idiots that could be Mr. Cleve. It's probably just going to be
uh,
like the Cleveland mascot in you're
I
walking down and it's
I hope it's
Cy inside of it.
the the return of the Mrs. Dad. That's what I'm
Yeah,
shooting for, Mr.
yeah.
Mizanin. But anyways, yeah, LA Knight needs to win this title. LA Knight, if he was in like a different era, I think he would be one of the top guys in the company. But this is such a stacked roster. I
Yeah.
think you give him that U.S. title and give him a lengthy reign. He can make that title feel important. He gets an incredible reaction every single time. Still, they've tried to kill this guy 1,000 times with the booking, and it's just he's still popular because he knows how to talk. He has charisma, and I think you give LA Knight the championship here. I'm just still honestly very nervous that they're going to keep it on Logan Paul, but I'm buying the feud and predicting LA Knight wins.
I'll tell you who Mr. Cleveland is. This is a Tony Cavallo, WWE or AEW needs to hire me because this is a genius. Logan Paul's a heel. He's coming in
Yeah,
as Cleveland's savior. He's going to be wrestling in his hometown, but he's still going to be viewed as the heel in this match. He might get the cheers from the crowd from the hometown, but he's going to be overall the heel. And who's a better Mr. Cleveland to fit into that mold? Represents Cleveland, is a joyous person in Cleveland, but is likewise hated around the world. Deshaun Watson is Mr. Cleveland. How
I was thinking.
perfect would that be?
Fuck, dude, know why? I was literally thinking of that as a joke. You see, no, I just
It fits the mold perfectly.
yeah, but oh my god, yeah, that
Come
would be
on down, Deshaun. Everyone loves you in Cleveland and
oh
despises
Jesus
you
Christ,
elsewhere. It'd be
yeah,
a perfect. So I guess we're tied on LA Knight taking the championship
yeah.
away, and we're
We
both going to
predicted
be
everything the
heartbroken.
same, so we bought and sold everything exactly the same, like always. Every single time we do this, we always buy and sell exactly the same. So I'm gonna mix it up somehow here.
And you say you're the WWE fan. I'll let you go
Yeah,
first on this one and let you see if you're different than me. It's the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn is the champion defending against Braun Breaker again, a man that he defeated. Sami Zayn, the only person in the world to defeat Braun Breaker and Gunther in a singles match. Who
yeah.
are you buying or selling this feud, my friend?
I'm gonna sell it. Unfortunately, I would buy it if it. I would actually wanted this match. They had Dragunov just in this feud randomly, and then
Yeah.
they had Breaker beat him on Monday night. I would have preferred this to be a triple threat, just to mix up the card a little bit. To be honest
Well,
with
you
you,
know,
but I'm sit. Go ahead.
Dave Meltzer said Dragunov had other stuff he had to do, so he
Yeah,
couldn't make it.
yeah,
So they just
yeah.
went with the one-on-one.
We'll get to that
Yeah,
bullshit later. But yeah, I'm selling the feud just because I think Breaker should already be champion. They should have
yeah.
given it to him at Money in the Bank, and I hope. I hope he wins the title here. I love Sami Zayn, but my God, Braun Breaker's a future world champion several times over. So let's get the
Hmm.
ball running on Braun Breaker, give him that title. Sami Zayn won't be hurt by this loss at all.
No.
It's time for a new champion.
I'm in lockstep with you, man. Selling this feud should have been done at Money in the Bank. If Braun
Yeah.
Breaker's walking away champion, if Sami Zayn wins this again, I mean, what are we doing? What
Just
are we
induct him
doing?
into just put him in the Hall of Fame while he's still wrestling. The only active Hall of Fame wrestler,
Yeah,
Sami
could he
Zayn.
fight Bob Backlund next? Like, what are we doing? All right, next match. This is the World Heavyweight title. This is a match that has been in the cards for a long time. Gunther is the contender here, going up against Damian Priest, who has been another, in my opinion, a lackluster champion. I'm sorry. This is going to be, however, a feud that I am buying. I have enjoyed. I'm not buying Damian Priest versus Gunther, but I am buying the possibilities of what could happen in this match and afterwards. Any Gunther match, I'm buying. Pretty much. If you put
Yeah,
that man in a ring against a guy that's it doesn't matter actually who the guy is. You can put him against Chad Gable, put him against Logan Paul, put him
absolutely.
against the best wrestler in the world. Doesn't matter. I'm buying that feud. Gunther better be walking away as the champion here. You don't build this up, and really, he has not really wrestled too much since he won that King of the Ring to put him in this place. It is time to give the championship to him. However, it does scare me. We now have, I think, 4 different champions in 5 matches here, and that
Yeah,
never happens.
yeah,
So one of the champions is walking away as the champion. However, I think this match goes on early, and I think we see a little bit of Judgment Day bullshit later, and therefore I see Damian Priest losing this to Gunther. Are you in lockstep with me on this one?
yeah. Unfortunately, we're just agreeing as always. Great pals, great minds think alike.
Great
Whatever the fuck.
podcast. Great
Yeah,
podcast.
best podcast ever. But anyways, yeah, I buy in this feud for a different reason because I have been like criticized Damian Priest, like you just said, you haven't been impressed with him. The past few weeks, I thought have been like a revelation for Damian Priest. He doesn't look jittery during
Mm,
his promos. He's confident. That was my issue. He looked like he was just reading lines. He's confident now, and he's getting babyface pops, whatever
mhm.
that means. He's turning babyface. So whatever they have planned with the Judgment Day, we don't know what's going on. I'm invested in that storyline, not just Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, the whole faction. There's something
Yep.
that I'm just excited to see what happens there. But I don't
Except
think
for
Damien.
McDonough, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, the Irish Ace. Yeah. Except for JD McDonough, I don't give a shit about that guy and his Funko Pop head. But yeah, I'm picking Gunther to win the championship. It's his time. Damian Priest, a transitional champion, but I've just liked how I like this rivalry and Gunther calling the Judgment Day and Priest street trash, getting just real heat from the crowd.
Yep.
Gunther is one of those guys who should never turn babyface.
No.
Perfect heel. Just
Yeah.
absolutely heel, but he needs to be champion and he should hold that title for like 3 years if he wins
Yeah,
it.
forever.
That's but yeah, I think Gunther walks out as champion as well.
All right, well, lockstep in that. Let's stick with the Judgment Day, though, because it's the women's world title. Rhea Ripley is the challenger. Liv Morgan is the champion. Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor in the hotel room key. All of it should come to a head right now. This should be, in my opinion, the main event. It won't be. The match we've saved for last is what I think is going to main event. This should be, however, the main event because it is the feud that we are both the most invested in. If you've been listening to this podcast at all, you know we're both buying this feud. There's
Yeah.
no dispute there. I've loved
Right.
everything about it. I've loved almost everything they've done with it in the build to it. The way they've kept this afloat, even through Rhea's injury and recovery, has been perfect. And if you
Yeah.
want to make fun of Triple H's booking for not, keeping the tag team titles in there and not doing all this other stuff, absolutely, you can throw arrows at him. You have to commend him for what he's done with this and what the
Absolutely.
actors, what the wrestlers have done with this.
Yeah.
Bob, I think I'm stealing the words out of your mouth, right?
Yeah, like I see, for all his faults, the positives greatly outweigh the negatives for Triple H's booking, and everybody in this feud. It's just been exceptional. Like you said, they've carried it while Rhea Ripley was injured and just didn't even feel like she was gone because they were just keeping us entertained with this weird Judgment Day Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan romance. Buy in the feud, and I'm predicting that Liv Morgan retains. I think that Dominic Mysterio's true colors are going to come out here. He said he hated Liv Morgan. She broke down in tears. I just don't buy it. I think Dominic Mysterio and Morgan are working together, or like you said, we still got that Finn Balor room key. Balor might show up randomly during this match. A lot of ways to go, but I think Rhea Ripley's not winning this title on Saturday because this feud is going to be going on for months after this pay-per-view.
I also think Liv Morgan retains, but I think our difference in whether we judge a win or loss here, you have Dominic Mysterio turning, I have Finn Balor turning.
Okay.
I think Dominic Mysterio does stay with Rhea Ripley, and we can even extend longer. Liv trying to rope him in and trying to drag him to her side because Rhea is still going to be chasing Liv Morgan. I think Finn Balor breaks up the Judgment Day. And honestly, it's the most obvious result. I get that. But it's also something that Finn is deserving of. All these Judgment Day players, Dominic Mysterio has had his run. He's had his talk at the top. He's been part of the big time feuds. Damian Priest, obviously a champion. Finn Balor, the first Universal Champion, lest we forget, but also a guy that is good enough to deservingly be in a big time feud as the main baddie or the main goodie. In this case, he'd be the main baddie. So I want Finn Balor in this spot. That's my pick, and that's what I'm going with. Either way, though, out of all the matches we've said, Damian Priest versus Gunther, maybe. But out of all the 6 matches we've gone through, there's only one left. This is the only match that excites me. This is the only match that I'm going to be like, get my popcorn, sit down, watch it. I can't wait to see what happens. The rest of them we both agreed on. Sure, we agreed on this one. But it's because it's a soap opera aspect of it. This is the only one so far where I'm like, let's effing go. I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I'm excited to see. Just as a wrestling fan, Zayn versus Breaker should be exciting, but I see what you're saying. This is the main. This is the big match. This is the only match so far with a big match feel, really. Even more so than Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. This match feels bigger to me. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I don't know. I would like to. If Roman Reigns isn't returning, I'd love to see the Cody Rhodes match open and this close. That's how I would do it, and then put Gunther and Damian in the middle. Or if you're gonna make a title change, have Gunther and Damian close. But we'll see. I have no idea. I wouldn't put this in the opening though. But I feel like you're right. They're going to. It makes sense. I would rather see it close.
It does and it doesn't, because if we get the Judgment Day breakup, that affects the Damian Priest Gunther match. Even if he's just, maybe that's the reason he loses. He's thinking about what has happened in the back, and now he has to go out and have a championship match. I do think this opens, and I don't want it to. I want it to be the finish, but I do think this opens. However, as you said, if Cody versus Solo is the main event, Roman's returning. If Cody versus Solo isn't the main event, Roman's not returning. That's going to be your sign right there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to what I believe will be the main event. And it's CM Punk finally wrestling again after his injury in the Royal Rumble versus Drew McIntyre. There is no belt on the line here. There is Seth Rollins in a frilly suit as the referee. Before we go into this, overall, we're both buying the feud, I believe, except last week on Raw. Can you describe why the Raw situation between those guys was kind of a letdown?
Yeah, I was going to give this the worst promo of the week in the gimmick section. It's not really worthy of that. It wasn't that bad. It was just 20 minutes of stuff we've already known. We've already heard about CM Punk's bracelet that Drew McIntyre has. We already heard about Seth Rollins has a problem with both of these guys. The only thing we learned is that they both have to listen to Seth Rollins' rules in this match, whatever the hell that means. That's it. Here's what I think this match is going to open the show. I think this is how I would
Mm.
book it, because I think it's only going 10 minutes, because I don't think you want to, because CM Punk is his first match back. Seth Rollins, I don't think is healthy either. Still, he's had one match since he's returned. So I just think they're going to be playing this cautious, and this is just going to be a glorified angle. Still, was still pushing this feud forward is my prediction. But or Seth Rollins just flat out costs CM Punk the match in like 10 minutes, and we just Drew McIntyre goes on to feud with Gunther or Damian Priest, whoever wins that match. We get right into Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. But if a perfect world, I think they should continue the McIntyre and Punk feud since he just returned to action, and I think should be a match to set up another match. So I'm predicting, I'm buying the feud, and I'm predicting McIntyre to get the win over CM Punk, thanks to Seth Rollins. Somehow,
That's so
however that's
interesting.
going to work out.
That's so interesting. We're going to differ here.
Okay, good.
But because I was a little bit worried the way you were describing it, I do believe this is just an angle in the continuation of the feud. It's a money-making feud. I mean, we both want sort of a comeuppance here, but it's a money-making feud. It would make sense for them to continue it as long as it goes. But I don't think you continue it with McIntyre winning. If I wanted a finish, this is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. This is McIntyre just absolutely effing destroys him. However, that Seth Rollins card is in there, so you know he's going to come into play here. And I think there's going to be a lot of chicanery, a lot of stupidity. And sadly, at the end of it, for whatever reason, McIntyre's out cold, and Seth Rollins begrudgingly has to count the pin for a glorified CM Punk. This is a CM. If you want to continue this feud, CM Punk wins this match. And I think that's honestly, out of all the things we've talked about, I think that's the most guarantee I have is CM Punk is coming away the victor here, because we all want Drew McIntyre to put him in his place. However, if you want to keep this going, the heel needs to go out on top. Am I wrong there?
Well, yeah, but CM Punk's not the heel.
Get
CM
out
Punk's
of
the
here.
baby. So you think CM Punk? You think CM Punk's the heel in this feud? Drew McIntyre has a bracelet with AJ Lee and his dog's name on it.
Yes, I think CM Punk is the heel of this feud.
Yeah, because you personally hate him or whatever.
Does
but
the babyface cost the heel 7 championship matches in a row by outside interference?
Does the babyface brag about injuring the top star in the company for 6 months?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
Actions speak louder than words.
CM Punk's not
cost championships over and over again, and then gloated about it afterwards. CM Punk is playing the heel in this.
I mean, he's the top merch seller in WWE. I don't think that's a heel.
That doesn't make him a heel or a babyface. It just makes him a money drawer. I'm just saying. I think CM Punk comes away with the win. Seth Rollins a heel because Seth Rollins openly hates CM Punk?
No, I think Drew McIntyre is the heel in this because he's decimated.
Seth Rollins comes in hating CM Punk. The only reason he's in this feud is because he despises CM Punk, believes CM Punk cost him the title as well. And so he's the heel in this storyline. It's as clear as day.
I guess. I mean, everybody loves him. Besides,
sure.
Like you and AEW fans,
angle, he's the heel in this wrestling storyline, and he wins to move it forward.
AEW fans love CM Punk, but yes. All right, but if CM Punk is the heel in your mind, I see what you're saying. But to me, Drew McIntyre is the heel. I guess they're all heels, technically. They're all just tweeners. Because there's no way in hell you can tell me Drew McIntyre is the babyface after he's been suspended for fighting referees. Like, come on. There's no way he's the babyface.
He's the monster babyface. What do you want? It's a new gimmick. He's tried it out and it's working. But hey,
he's the babyface to people that hate CM Punk, which is there's a lot of them, but there's also a lot of people that like CM Punk. So it's just an interesting feud. But I don't know if you can define CM Punk as a heel based on the crowd reaction.
Last I checked, the babyface doesn't outside interfere in people's championship matches to cost people matches.
Last I checked, the heel doesn't.
Because he's butthurt about a couple of things Drew said. Like that doesn't happen to babyfaces.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a butthurt about what he said or the brutal, bloody attack where he stole his bracelet with his wife and dog's name on it. And I don't know if the heel. I don't know if the heel.
What caused
that? Do heels get baby face reactions every time they come to the ring?
What are we doing? Why did he beat him down and bloody him up? Because he cost him the championship with outside interference. Said every championship match you're going to have, I'm going to come out and get you. That's not a babyface move. That's not a babyface move.
Yeah, but neither is boasting about. Never mind. We're just going around circles. Drew McIntyre boasting about injuring a man isn't a babyface move either. And he gets booed. All right, moving on.
He gets booed. Either way, you have Drew McIntyre winning. I have CM Punk winning. We both have this feud not ending. And that is
Yeah.
it for SummerSlam. Overall, my friend, 7 matches. I believe we only bought 3 of them at most. Are we buying the overall card and the overall pay-per-view?
I am, just because I know something's ridiculous. I'm expecting something big to happen at SummerSlam. I'm expecting Roman Reigns to return. I'm expecting a big angle. But if nothing happens, I'll be talking about next week how I should have sold the whole show. But I'm going to
I'm
buy it now. Go ahead.
No, even if Roman doesn't come back, as I said, I don't think he does. I'm still buying this pay-per-view for those last two feuds we talked about. The Judgment
Yeah.
Day, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and also the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. Which one's the heel feud?
And I
And
think there's a couple matches on this card that we sold that could wind up being sleeper, like excellent
Sure.
matches. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we
that's
sold the feud, but by the match. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, I agree with you there. But yeah, those 2 feuds in particular are making me buy this card, and I'm excited to see it. There's a potential chance we go live afterwards if something big happens. There's also a potential chance that me and Bob don't talk to each other anymore because we can't agree over who's the heel and who's the face in that feud itself. But that's it
Ah,
for the
sure.
SummerSlam breakdown.